Hello, my name is Drew Jarvis and I'm an application specialist with Cansel in Vancouver, BC. And today I'm going to be doing a follow-up to my last presentation, and I will be showing how you can use Dynamo to control the visibility of worksets within a view. So my previous exercise showed how we can create worksets within a project file. Once those worksets are in place, modeling can then take place on the different buildings, different disciplines, that type of thing. And then what you'll possibly need to do is control the visibility of those worksets in the view. Now, it's quite easy to go into visibility graphics inside of Revit. Go to the worksets tab, find, for example, all of the worksets here, set them to hide, and then set, for example, building 2 worksets to show. And what that does is isolate the building 2 for you. However, it would be nice if that could be a little easier to use rather than having to go into that dialog box. And it's pretty straightforward. So let's see how Dynamo can do that. So first of all, I'm going to need a string box so that I can place in the name of a building, for example. So this is going to be the building name that I want to isolate in the view. And then the rest of it I'm going to handle with a Python box. So inside of here, what I'm going to do is go with the Revit services, and I'll just take a minute to fill in the rest of this down to when we start getting into the more important stuff. Okay, so I'm going to start by taking the input and saving that as workset, and then want to get a reference to the active view. So in order to do that, I'm going to need the UI doc. In order to get the UI doc, I need the UI app. So let's start with that. I'm going to start with my UI app equals document manager, and I guess what I could do is just go straight into here with active UI doc and then active view, and in fact we'll just call that view. See if that works. Okay, next thing I'm going to want is a collection of worksets from the model. So I'm going to use a filtered workset collector for this, and that's going to need to reference the current document. So up here I'm going to need to put in a doc which is equal to the document manager instance current DB document. Okay, and then in order to make sure that I only get the user worksets, not for example the worksets associated with views and families and things like that, I'm going to use a of kind filter which specifies user workset. So now we're going to put this all inside a transaction manager. Which we will of course finish down here. So whoops, let's go and make sure this one is transaction task done, and then inside of here what we're going to do is 2 things. First of all, we're going to turn off the visibility of all of the worksets in the current view. So for each workset in the collection, let's take the view, set workset visibility, and we'll take the workset ID and set it to hidden. There we go. And then let's make sure we get that correct. And then down here we're going to do a similar thing, but what we're going to do is put in a little if thing as well. So we're going to say if the workset name contains, and then the value from here, which is whatever string we pass to it, then we're going to set the visibility to visible. Okay, so I think that should be good. So as we can see, we're taking in a string, and then we're getting the document, we're getting the current active view, we're getting a collection of all the work sets, and then within a transaction manager we're going to first turn off the visibility of all work sets, and then we're going to turn back on the visibility of the work sets that include the string that we had passed to it. So as I come from here to here and hit run, there we go, we can see it has done that. Do have an issue here, line 26, let's have a look. Oh, don't need to put the document in there, sorry. Okay, so now we can use this on different buildings just by simply changing the value there and running it. And just to see what it's doing here, if we go into visibility graphic worksets, you can see it's setting a whole bunch of hides and then some shows here based on the string name having this text inside of it. So I hope that was useful in just showing you how you can start to get into some interesting things inside of Dynamo. You can see here I've made use of filtered workset collectors. We could also use filtered element collectors and different things like this. So we're getting the full power of the API writing side of our Dynamo scripts here. So thank you for joining me today. My name is Drew Jarvis. I'm an applications specialist with Cansel in Vancouver, BC, and I look forward to talking to you again.